Good afternoon, weather fans. Zach's Weather Shack here with you on this Wednesday, February 10th. I have a lot to talk about here, a lot of action going on in the next few days, but before I get into the storms, I wanted to talk about what we're working with here in terms of forecasting ability this season. So I made this comparison for you, and so weather model performance has a spectrum. Some seasons it performs very well, some seasons not so well. So our ability to forecast really hinges on how well the models are performing. And let me tell you, I've been observing weather models, crunching the data for about 10 or 11 years now. And in those 11 years, I can definitely tell you this is the worst performance season I've ever seen for models. So the differences of what we can forecast based on these performances, you could see in the long range, 7 to 10 days in a good performance season, we generally have a good idea of how a storm will behave. Now, an example of this was in 2016 when the models were performing very well. I forecasted a blizzard 8 to 9 days out before the event happened. There is no way I would ever be able to do such a thing this year because, as you can see, in bad performance seasons, we're not even sure if a storm is going to happen yet. So if you look at the mid-range, that's 4 to 7 days out from a storm. In a good season, we start to get a good idea of what the snowfall amounts will be, what the impacts will be for each area. In a bad performance season, like the one we have this year, we're just really starting to get an idea of whether a winter storm is likely or unlikely, and the impacts are very much still up in the air, even 4 to 7 days out. So in the short range side, like I said, in a good performance season, impacts are well established and snow amounts are pinpointed to within a half inch. So in a good performance, we really know what's going to happen. We know who's going to get snow and how much. It's very detailed in good performance seasons. In bad performance seasons, like the one this year, impacts are still uncertain in areas, and snowfall amounts have a very wide range. You've seen a lot of ranges this season. 1 to 4 inches, 2 to 6 inches, 4 to 8 inches. It's wild because there's so much volatility and inconsistency within the models that there's just a lot of uncertainty. So with that being said, we're going to give the rest of the season our best shot, and I'm pretty confident on how to forecast these storms from now on. I have a system in place, so we're good to go. We're ready to roll. So if we take a look at our upcoming storm, finally. Okay, so this is 10 p.m. tonight. This is part one of the supposed two-part storm. You could see the system is going to start out as maybe a mix for Anne Arundel County, maybe some rain. Don't panic. Just calm down. It's still going to be snow, but that's just because the precipitation is light. Temperatures might still be a tad warm, so you may start out as a mix or rain. But as the storm really ramps up, this is just an hour later here, 11 p.m. tonight, Anne Arundel County and some heavy snow. Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Harford County, you're in some good heavy snow bands here. So snow should accumulate relatively quickly during this time period. And as the night goes on, it's going to lighten up a little bit. Light to moderate snow bands for the rest of the night. This is 2 a.m. tomorrow, or tonight. And as you can see, still some light snow occurring. And like I said, that's going to go on for a good 5 or 6 hours until 9 a.m. tomorrow, approximately. You can see just very light snow now, some snow showers occurring, and the first part of this storm is going to get out here. So for snowfall totals in this first part of the storm, this is the high rate resolution model. It's the most precise short range model, so it performed well in the last storm, so I will put my faith into this. I will trust this one. So as you can see, the northern half of Anne Arundel County is in the 1 to 3 inch range, plus some areas may receive more. You see a cutoff here right around right around Frederick County. You can see that's where you really start getting those 3 to 6 inch amounts here. 5.1 here around Hagerstown, and points west of that, you're going to see higher snow totals. So if you look at my forecast map, it directly correlates to this. You can see Anne Arundel County 1 to 3 inches plus. I'm confident at least an inch, maybe more, and maybe even 4 or 5 inches in some spots. It depends on how those heavy bands set up, on who receives that. And here we go, Western Maryland, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Some areas, may receive more. Out in Garrett County, Deep Creek Lake, you could see more. And then really, really sharp cutoff here for it goes from 1 or 2 inches to nothing very quickly. So this actually applies to DC as well a little bit. It's really borderline there of whether or not they're going to see all snow from this part 1 or a little bit more of a mix. So I'd say 0 to 2 inches is more realistic for DC as well. All rain down here, too warm. It got too warm today, and most of the precipitation is going to be north of this area anyway, this area right here. So if we take a look at part 2 of this storm, not impressed at all for Anne Arundel County and points north. This is 11 p.m. tomorrow, and this is really the most we're going to see here. Some really, really light snow showers, maybe. It's a good possibility. You don't see anything at all. However, Ocean City down in Virginia, good chance you get 1 to 3 inches out of this, because that's where most of the precipitation will be, and most of the snow will be falling. So part 2, not a big deal for Anne Arundel County and points north. Maybe at most a dusting additionally to what we get tonight. So if we take a look beyond that, this is where things get a little bit interesting. This is 7 p.m. Saturday, February 13th. The models have been showing an ice event. How significant? Like I said, we're in that 3 to 6 day range, so we're not sure if exact impacts and amounts. So as we get closer, we'll see. But it really looks like an ice storm, and the thing is, it doesn't take much ice to cause a significant impact. And I will say, we're looking at the GFS model here. The GFS has outperformed the European model this year. I know that's unprecedented, but it's a win for the US model over the Euro. It has been outperforming it, so go USA for once, I guess. I don't know. So if we take a look at why it's going to be ice, as you can see, our surface temperatures are going to be 25 or 26 degrees. It's very, very cold. So you would think, 25 or 26 degrees, it's going to be snow, but that's not the case, because if we look at our temperatures in the sky, here's our freezing level in the sky. This is all above freezing here. So up in the sky, you have warmer than freezing temperatures, so it's going to be falling as rain and freezing on the surface. And the reason that happens is because when the storm comes up the coast, it brings with it that tropical moisture up in the air, that warmer air, and precipitates as rain and then falls and freezes. So you get sleet and freezing rain. Like I said, this is going to be Saturday night into some Sunday. Looks like it could be some significant impacts for Valentine's Day, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'll have further details on that later. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great night. Ask any questions if you'd like. Thank you.